today we're talking about our cheat sheet entry strategy. Now, to the newcomers, we got quite a bit today as opposed to our last week's stream. So cheat sheet entry is a trade setup used with Market Cipher B. We will talk about it in reference to Fu Manchu as well, but you will need to know my Market Cipher tutorial video. So again, for the new people and for the people on YouTube, go back and watch the previous streams. I have 2 videos on my YouTube that are about the Market Cipher. One is the Market Cipher B kind of breakdown and how to use it tutorial. It's in depth. It's an hour and a half long. And the second one is the vector candles. Now, this strategy is going to actually use both of those. So once again, if you don't know it, make sure you go back and watch it. Try to follow along today, and we'll get right into it. Okay. So as you guys know, throughout the whole week on my Discord, I have been giving updates in real time in regards to cheat sheet entries and what we can expect. And so far, let's get rid of this. So far, so forth, or if that's how you say it, I don't even know. Just made myself sound foolish. That's okay though. Anyways, so we're going to talk about what the cheat sheet entry is, how to use it, and what it's used for. Okay, let me actually go to my blank chart so we're not distracted. Although I am very interested in trading these levels, so sometime on stream, if we get down there, I might have to take a quick 5-minute break so I can get in. But yeah, let's talk about it, guys. So your cheat sheet entry is mainly used for catching a trend that you may have missed. Okay, now it works on all time frames. Jake, sorry bro, do you mind just muting your mic?
For 2 seconds. So
just getting a little bit of feedback.
See that it's first flashing a little bit. That means it's already pairing with
No,
the
okay.
device.
I'm just gonna mute him then. I don't know if you guys can still hear him, but I muted him. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So a cheat sheet entry is used to catch a trend that you may have missed, and it works on all time frames. Okay. And I can't stress this enough, guys. Like, especially, and I just said this, but I really want to repeat it. Go back and watch the last stream. Like, especially when it comes to Market Cipher B, because I teach you guys how to look at the money flow and the different indicators, your BEDMAS, your order of operations across different time frames. And that's something that's very relevant. So we're going to talk about that a few times today. But let's get into it, okay? So essentially, your cheat sheet entry, in short, okay, we have an easy version and we have a more complicated version. In short, your cheat sheet entry is when money flow is thick in either direction, right? So whether it's in the red or it's in the green, and you have a green dot. If your money flow is thick in the green, you have a green dot that's below the 0. Or if it's thick in the red, you have a red dot that's higher, that's above the 0 line. Okay. Ideally, what we want to be seeing is money flow very thick like this, or getting thicker for this to be a valid trade setup. However, you can enter while money flow is on the decline, but it's not going to give you as significant of a move. And I'm also going to show you how you know if you should get into that trade setup on whatever time frame you're using. Okay, so this is the 1 hour, for example, and I just want to show you guys a couple of examples on where we could have taken these trades. Okay, first things first, we have red money flow getting thicker over time, right? And we have a high wave above the 0. Here's your cheat sheet entry, right? Down, easy, nice. How much percent is that? 8% move, right? Here we have another one. Thick money flow. Yes, it's getting into the green, but we have a red dot above the 0 line. Cheat sheet entry. If you missed this on the hourly time frame, right? You missed this. You're looking for the next red. You missed this one. You're looking for the next red dot above the 0. It doesn't need to be this high. Above the 0 with the red money flow. That's your cheat sheet entry. Okay. And this is just the 1 hour time frame, right? Here, same thing. We have money flow getting thicker. We have a red dot. There's your cheat sheet entry. Where is it? Right here, right? Not always going to be a crazy significant move. And we'll talk about, how to really decide whether or not, like, what your move is going to be. But let's look at it a couple times in the long example, right? So now money flow started crossing into the green, right? Let's just say you didn't buy here, you didn't buy here, and you missed it, right? Like this would have been your ideal entry, Well, I mean, this technically would have been your ideal entry, but let's just say you didn't get it and you're waiting from your market Cipher B confirmations. This would have been your entry right here, somewhere around there. Your stop loss would have been under the low. Cool. But let's just say you missed it, right? Are you going to long up here? I mean, probably not, because you missed it and we got some vectors here that need to be recovered, right? So again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the vector stream. I will link it down below in the description, so go check it out. But you wouldn't really want to be longing here unless you're scalping or whatever. But in terms of the 1 hour time frame, you don't want to be longing there, because you know it's a higher risk. Like, yeah, it's possible that price keeps going forward, but I mean, with the confluence of this blue vector candle, you don't really want to trust it unless you're scalping, and that's another tutorial. But this is the concept, right? So you see this, you're like, okay, well, price is thick in the green right now, so I'm just going to chill. You know, I'm going to sip the Kool-Aid and I'm going to wait for my cheat sheet entry, right? You get it down here. Yeah, we had a little bit of chop. That's totally fine. But you get your cheat sheet entry, and then bam, you got to continue the wave. You got to continue the ride, right? Here, I mean, you could have taken this. Again, we can jump into smaller time frames and look at what's really going on around this point. This is not below the zero, so you don't really expect that much of an upside move, but that's your cheat sheet entry right there. And you would have had a nice return, right? Same thing here on the way down, right? Money flow is coming down over time. We're not thick in the red, but you need to be aware that your cheat sheet setups can come with very thick money flow and with thinning or like money flow coming down over time. Obviously, the thicker, the better, but you know, sometimes you don't always get the absolute perfect indications that you want to see from your indicators. So this would have been considered, I wouldn't say a cheat sheet entry, but it's the same concept. And if you shorted from right there or anywhere in this whole period, really, like, you know, we've been taking a huge downturn, 5% down over the past weekend. So I hope the people in this Discord have been winning, but that would have been your cheat sheet entry right there. So that's it, like, in short, okay? That's your short version of it. That's what you're looking for. And, you know, if we go, and this works on all time frames, really. So if you go back, you know, I didn't check these charts before, but let's take a look at any time you would have potentially gotten a cheat sheet entry. Actually, let's go on the 1 hour because it's more vol. It moves more. So those examples we did, and without even looking at the charts, or without even looking above, like there, I know that probably went up. This probably went up, right? A little bit there, not so much, but money flow is coming down. So it's for sure something to be cautious of. Here, money flow was increasing, but it was a little bit of chop. So, you know, you'd have to go on the lower term time frames. But here we have thick money flow, right? You really want to do it when there's thick money flow. When it's like, oh man, this is getting super thick, and like you're worried about FOMOing and whatever up here, like this is where you want to really be looking at your cheat sheet entries, right? You wait for the green dot below the zero. You got a nice little, oh, whoa, where's my brush? Green dot below the zero. You got a nice little pump there, double green dot, and then you continue the ride, right? And again, this works on all time frames, and the higher the time frames, similar to my last couple sessions ago, the higher the time frame, the more important it is, the more weight it carries, and the more of a move that you can expect. So if you can see here, for example, actually, let's go back to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour here, right, we have thick money flow. So are you going to short here? I mean, objectively right now, because in hindsight, it's easy, but right now, we don't know what's going to happen next. So are you going to short here? Well, I mean, if you look at the chart, like we're at the bottom, right? If this is the bottom and this is the top, you want to short from up here and you want to long from down here. So right now we're looking for longs. We're not looking for shorts, right? But we know over time, right? Like we could have a scalp long. Let's just say we go down a little bit more. We ride a wave up to like here. This wave comes in, maybe gives us another div or something like that, right? And then eventually we're going to print a red dot, and money flow, as you know from the last session, is the juggernaut, and the money flow takes longer to turn than the waves do. So what we can actually expect here, because the money flow is super thick on the 1 hour, is to get a wave like this, maybe another wave like this, whatever, hit a red dot up here, with the money flow still thick or slightly coming up, let's just say. I don't know what's going to happen yet. And that's your 1 hour cheat sheet entry. So you can imagine something like this. Let's just say we come up and grab this liquidity and then we come back down. And just hypothetically, right? Like we can come back in hindsight and look at if this plays out. Why is this thing not working? But you could maybe get a 3% move there just based on the hourly time frame. Now, like I said, this works on all time frames, and it's important to be aware of it across all time frames so that you can have confidence in which way the market's going to move and how much it's going to move. So far, I hope I'm making sense with my cheat sheet entry logic. This, again, is the simple version. I'm just going to reiterate it real quick. When you're thick in the green, you're looking for green dots below this 0 line right over here. The deeper, the better, and the thicker the money flow, the better. And when you're thick in the red, you're looking for any red dots above the 0 line with continued thick money flow, and the move continues on. And this works across all time frames. Does anybody have any questions before we talk about how to use it with Confluence with our EMAs and such? Anyone have any questions? You can unmute.
Because stupid question. My friend is joining to your Discord, and if you could show one cheat sheet entry once again, it will be nice. I'm not sure he's in yet.
Sure, absolutely. The white one here?
Look. White one, yeah. White one. Yeah.
All right. White one.
White one, yeah.
Welcome, bro. Nice to meet you. So we're talking about cheat sheet entries today. This video is going to be up on YouTube. You only missed maybe like 5-10 minutes, so no worries. But essentially what we're talking about today is a market cipher B strategy, which is this indicator down here. And in short, the money flow, when it's thick in the red and you have red dots above the 0 line, that's your cheat sheet entry. So let's use this as an example right here. Here we have money flow coming down over time. Oh, that's not my brush. Here we have money flow coming down over time. Right? We're in the red. We get a red dot above the 0 line. That's your cheat sheet entry right there. And then, you could have realized 10% profit right there just using the 2 hour time frame. That's one example of it. And the idea is if you miss the trend, or if you you don't catch the top or whatever the case is, how can you still enter even if you're not necessarily at a key level? And the answer is your cheat sheet entries. You use it in Confluence with the money flow, which takes longer to turn, right? It's all oscillators, but your money flow is the juggernaut. So it takes longer to turn than the waves do. So we can assume that when money flow is coming down and we have a wave up here, money flow will continue to come down. Okay, so that's just one quick example of a cheat sheet entry right there. And now we're going to talk about how we can use Confluence using our EMAs and my favorite term in all of trading, which is your vector candles. So aside from that, does anyone have any questions so far just on the basics of it? No? Okay. Before I continue, I want to very quickly talk about Fu Manchu because I did have somebody ask about this indicator. He's new to the stream. So guys, I understand that Market Cipher is an expensive indicator. I absolutely understand that. It's like $1,000 for a year or for life or $1,500 or whatever. I know that it's expensive. Okay. I know that. This top one here is the real Market Cipher. Here, let me make this back to default so that you guys can see the difference. So this one, this one that's customized is my Market Cipher. And this one here is Fu Manchu. Let me just change one thing. Money flow. This. Okay. So, I mentioned this in a previous video as well. I believe Market Cipher is worth it just because the money flow is a lot more accurate than Fu Manchu's money flow and really any other copy of Market Cipher B. So the waves and such are pretty accurate, right, between the two indicators, but the money flow you can see is like very different, right? So if I zoom in here and I zoom in here, like we have different peaks, we have different valleys. This is significantly larger, a larger amount of of red money flow compared to your Fu Manchu, and this will give you more confidence in entering the trade, right? Like here, it's like not that thick, right? But here is like super thick, and we're looking for super thick in the money flow, right? So that's the difference between Fu Manchu and Market Cipher B. It's really just the money flow, but as I mentioned multiple times, your money flow is the holy grail indicator. So, you know, like I said at the beginning, I believe in providing value, you know, learning how to trade first, then making the money, and then, you know, do what you want with the money. In my opinion, you can get away with using Fu Manchu, but once you start making money, I absolutely think Market Cipher B is worth the investment. It's the best and really only indicator that you need out there. So let's talk about your cheat sheet entries in reference to your EMAs and your vector candles. Let's get my EMAs back. Okay, so as we know from our previous lessons, vector candles are points in the chart where there's liquidity, right? Market makers are doing what market makers do in these zones, and we're looking to eventually recover those vector candles, right? So if you take a look here in the past, we had some green vector candles, and this huge red vector candle came and recovered this zone, and this green came out and took this zone pretty much like, you know, in that exact zone, right? Came, took our zone, happy days, as Tina would say, right? And then we shift back up. So because we're under the assumption that at some point they're going to come back and get these vectors, we can use this in confluence with our cheat sheet entry strategy, right? So we'll use this as a perfect example right now. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, guys. So let's just draw out what could happen. Let's just say this wave came down. We have a little bit of a bullish div, whatever the case may be. Price comes up and recovers these vectors. Let's just say, right? Price comes up. Our EMAs are here. Maybe it doesn't come up all the way. Maybe it comes like just like that. Our EMAs are starting to come down. And right here, we get, let's say this wave is large, and we get a red dot right there. That and money flows continuing down. This would be considered a cheat sheet entry because of multiple things. Number one, where we have confluence with our 50 EMA, or yeah, on the 50 EMA on the 2-hour time frame. We have confluence with our 50 EMA. Okay. We also have money flow thick or getting thicker if it happens, right? If money flow does this, it would be thick and getting thicker. And, you know, let's just say this candle here, that's this pink candle, started the reverse and we have green vectors coming up, right? That would be extra confluence and extra confidence for you to enter that trade, because if we have green vectors coming up, then we know market makers are going to come down and take that liquidity. So I'm going to try to find an example. Let me go on the 1-hour time frame. I'm going to find an example of this, of a picture perfect version of it right here. Right here, okay? So we're thick in the red, and when we start to pump, we know we're looking for cheat sheet entries, right? We know we're looking for it. We're struggling to break the EMAs, right? We have few wicks on the top here, and we have a high red wave. We have our high red wave here. So we take our cheat sheet entry, and you can wait for the candle to close and for this to confirm, because sometimes, as you can see here we'll get a red dot and then we'll get a green dot 1 or 2 candles later. So you want to make sure that it confirms, right? If you want to, there are ways to get more accurate entries, but if you want to play it safe and be lazy, then you can wait for it to confirm. You can short really anywhere in that zone, and then stop loss will go over the high. In this case, it works out perfectly because in our last lesson, remember what I said, it's important to know where your vectors appear in the chart in relevance to your 50 EMA. So here we had our green vectors shoot up straight into the 50 EMA, right? At the same time that we're getting a high red wave when money flow was thick. Yes, it's getting thinner, but you know, it's still in the red, right? We're at our 50 EMAs. Price shot up. It failed to follow through, right? We recovered 50% of this vector with our cheat sheet entry. And because we left these green vectors behind, it's safe to assume that market makers will at least come and recover 50% of the bottom vector, which it did. So that would have been a picture perfect cheat sheet entry. You have your confluence with your vector candles coming up to your 50 EMA if you're taking a short, right? Vectors pushing into the 50 EMA, rejecting the 200. You have red money flow. You have a high wave. In this case, I probably would have went on the lower term time frames just because money flow was increasing. But that was your cheat sheet entry. And you could see that it resulted in money flow not continuing actually up all the time, right? So why, like, this is how you know that this may happen, right? Like that it might be thick, starting to get thick. And then what you would think would go in the green and continue, it's like, oh no, we faked you out and come back down. And then eventually you got the move. Now it is easier to see in hindsight and like all indicators, I mean, a lot easier to see in hindsight, but now you have in your mind that whenever you see this, at some point, especially because it's thick in the red, at some point you're looking for a cheat sheet entry because the waves move. The waves are a leading indicator for the money flow, right? Like we said in the first stream. So if we get a couple waves like this, money flow is still going to take time to turn. So when we hit that red dot right there, that's your cheat sheet entry. Because money flow is the holy grail and it's the juggernaut and it takes a lot longer, and that's your cheat sheet entry right there. And this works on all time frame, guys. Look at this, right? Let's say you missed the dump over the weekend, right? We dumped over the weekend. We're getting thicker, like very thick in the money flow. What is this line? We're getting very thick in the money flow. This is almost at zero. You could have taken this. You would have jumped into the lower term time frames. Eventually, I'll go over like how to scalp and all that. But it's the same logic, right? Like it doesn't need to exactly pass the zero line. It's just a concept for you to understand and look for these kind of entries. So let's say you missed this first initial dump and you're like, oh man, like whatever, right? Now you're kind of scalping this little range, let's just say. Well, you're waiting for your cheat sheet entry. You're waiting for a little bit of momentum to the upside just so that they can shut it back down, right? A little bit of momentum just so they can shut it back down. And sure enough, if you shorted this red dot, no less than an hour, 2 hours later, you would have been up 2% right there. And this is just on the 15-minute time frame. So that's not bad. That's your cheat sheet entry. We can use this multiple times, right? We know that money flow takes longer to turn than the waves do. So if money flow takes longer to turn, when we get a little bit of momentum, boom, they shut it down. Boom, they shut it down, right? When money flow is starting to increase, you need to be a little bit more careful with it. And, you know, it depends on which time frame you're using to execute and which time frame you're using as your environmental time frame. For the newcomers, I have my first stream on that also talks about that. So make sure you go back and check it out. But you could have shorted here. You could have shorted here. Boom. Right? So that's how you're going to catch trends that you may have missed. And you use this in confluence with your higher term time frames too. So let's just say your 1 hour is your execution. You know you have thick money flow. I mean, if this is how you trade, you're not looking for longs right now. You're waiting for this wave to start to turn up. So for the rest of the day, even maybe a day and a half, like you wouldn't be looking for trades. So on the 15, you know you're relatively safe to take these cheat sheet entries on the 15 because your higher term time frames look ugly. Right now, the 2 hour looks ugly, although we are getting some support on this EMA, but the 2 hour objectively looks not great at all, right? So you know you're safer to take some cheat sheet entries on the lower term time frames. Again, it's also important to note that on the lower term time frames, the moves aren't as big and you can get faked out. So you got to be a little bit more careful when you're doing this on the lower term time frames, but they're a lot better on the higher term time frames, and they're a lot better with looser stop losses. Unless you know what you're looking for and you're trying to scalp the exact top, it's better with looser stop losses. And to be honest, for me, what I usually use it on are some altcoins that I can't be bothered to chart. I don't feel like charting or whatever. And I'm expecting like somewhat of a move, right? And I don't I'm like too lazy to put in the work to like actually chart it. So perfect cheat sheet entry that I actually took was this one right here. We had thick money flow into the green. We had a green dot below the 0 on the 2 hour, and we were coming down to touch the 50 EMA. I took that long. I made money on that long. And all I did was come to the 2 hour and I saw that. That's literally all I did. What I just said, I got in somewhere around here. I put my stop loss under the I put it under the EMA just to be a little bit more safe. But that is literally all that I did, right? The simplest entry ever. You guys can't hear me? Can everyone hear me or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, some people can't hear me and I don't know why.
It's good.
Okay, everyone else. Okay, this guy can hear
I
me.
mean, my friend have issues with the connection, I think, because his stream, I
Okay.
mean, your stream
Yeah.
works in a bad way. But yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna watch YouTube anyway.
Okay, yeah, as long as people can hear me, cool. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, anyway, so that was a good example right there. So this is what I'll do. Literally, every day or every other day or whatever the case, on whatever time frame it may be, right? Doesn't really matter. I will come and I'll scan, right? Let's scan. Here we have thick in the green, thick in the red, right? Super thick in the red on ARB. We have a vector candle here, and we have the 50 EMA. So if you're looking for longs, you're scalp longing, very scalp longing to maybe here, right? And then over time, when this wave comes up, you're looking for a cheat sheet entry right there. And that would give you continuous momentum down. Let's say this came up, tapped the 50, that's your short. And it's very simple. It's not that hard at all. This is why Market Cipher B is such a powerful indicator. And this is why I do think it is worth it, because, the money flow is the most important thing. And unfortunately for Vuma and Chu, they don't quite have the money flow down. So we take a scan. Really, I mean, we've been dumping the whole weekend. So all of our charts look, fairly the same. And overall, you can kind of expect cheat sheet entries across the board in a couple days. I don't know, like however long these take to play out, but you're looking for cheat sheet entries, right? Look at this. This is XMR on the 2 hour. I just flipped this in front of you guys. I didn't take any of these trades, but just flipped it right in front of you. There's a cheat sheet entry right there. Boom. Right? Very simple, very easy to see. Here's your cheat sheet entry. Boom. Here we had money flow starting to come up to the green with momentum below. It's not technically by my definition a cheat sheet entry, but it's, money flow's coming up. It's the same concept. There's your entry. Boom. Right? Stop loss under the low. Yeah, this came back down. This day was an anomaly. I've said it multiple times. That was a crazy day of trading, but ultimately the trend was up, right? Don't forget to pay yourselves, because the market makers do what the market makers will do. Look at this, right? Here we're on the 2 hour chart still. Let's say you didn't short here, you came back. Oh man, you didn't short here, you missed it all. Look at your cheat sheet entry right there. Boom. Right? So that's why, don't get so caught up on every little move and every little dollar, right? Because price is an oscillator. Like it goes up and down, and you're always going to have opportunity, guys. And now what you're looking for is your cheat sheet entries again on the higher term time frames, especially for altcoins and stuff. If you don't chart every single, like I don't chart all of these coins, right? That would take me the whole day. Like I don't do that. But that's you can do it on the higher term time frames, and that's what you're looking for. That's how you can get in. So if this whole, let's go back to Bitcoin. If this whole idea of, this being a head and shoulders, and now we're down here, we're about to break the neckline, and you're FOMOing short now because you don't want to miss this move, man, like just sip the Kool-Aid, take a chill pill. Don't panic. We're in the red. Wait for the next wave on the 2 hour to come up above the 0. Once it confirms, stop loss over the high and then write it down. That's how you can get into trades that are not, they're not perfect, and you're going to have to manage your risk correctly. And I will do a stream on that. But that's how you're going to really do it. That's your cheat sheet entry. Any questions so far, or shall we continue?
Yeah, what's the best way to set a take profit using this?
Yeah. So I don't know how familiar you are with vector candles because you're new, but in my last stream, we talked about where you can really look for profits depending on your time frame. So I'll recap it real quick, okay? So we'll use the 4 hour as an example. Let's say you're on the 15, right? Let's say you're on the 15 minute and this price it has started to come down, okay? And you're looking for longs. Let's say you're looking for longs now. In the long term, you need to be aware that because of the 4 hour that printed a red dot, price can come all the way back down to where it is right now and still technically remain as bullish market structure. So I'm going to repeat that one more time, okay? On the 4 hour time frame, you have a red dot, but on the 15, you're kind of looking for longs, right? Let's just say you're still like, you cannot be surprised when you catch this long and you're like, "Oh my god, let's go Bitcoin to 100K." You can't be surprised that Bitcoin came back and did all this because on the 4 hour time frame, we have we can have vectors that need to be recovered, for example, and we can technically come down to the golden pocket or 786, which we broke below on this time frame, or we can come back down and, SFP this, right? We can take all the lows. Price can still come all the way down, take all these lows and then bounce. Actually, even worse, these lows. It can technically come and take all of these lows and bounce. So you use the same logic in terms of how or which cheat sheet entry time frame you're taking to consider your profits and your stop losses. So let's just say you were to take this cheat sheet entry right here, right? You'd be a little bit like careful because money flow is still coming down, but this is absolutely a cheat sheet entry. Let's say you were to take this, you would probably set your first take profit, at these highs, right? Let's just say you set your first take profit. For me, I would make it just under this low or just under this wick because sometimes they don't actually take the wick. They'll come right below it. So whenever there's a key level, I front run the key level a little bit. So my take profit probably would have been like somewhere there. And this is on the 2 hour time frame, right? And so this is a looser looser trade. This is not, you're not using 100x leverage on these unless you're expecting this to happen and you're jumping in on the lower term time frames and you're using the strategies I've taught you in the last streams to kind of get the perfect level. But if you're doing it the lazy way where you're just like scrolling through looking for them and you see this, at any point, it doesn't matter when you got in, right? You could have got in here, here. It doesn't really matter. Stop loss goes under the low from wherever your green dot is. So in this case, it would be here, but because of this wick, I would probably put it here, right? Stop loss goes there, and then you target these highs. Right? And then you can let the rest run. So it depends on how you like to trade. Depends on if you like to scalp or whatever. This is a good example of when you could let it run, right? We had very thick money flow, and now money flow comes down, okay? After price dumped, if you didn't catch this one, you wait for the next one. We have red vectors, so you're anticipating already a potential cheat sheet entry because they're going to come back up to this. On top of them coming up, they left a green vector behind and you get your red dot there, okay? And money flow is getting thicker and it's in the red, right? We don't know that it's going to get this thick yet, but it's in the red. So right here, doesn't matter where. Anywhere there is your entry. When it printed, it was, let's see where price was when it printed. Price was on this candle here when it printed, right? You could front run it. You could wait for it to confirm. I mean, again, for me, I look at the smaller time frames because that's how I trade. But if you're doing it the lazy way, right? You enter somewhere there. Your stop loss would be over this high. Actually, I would probably put it over this wick over here. So stop loss would be there, right? And then you look left. So we have this is all liquidity. For the new people that don't know what vector candles are yet, this is liquidity. This is liquidity. Right? That's all money that they can come back to. So if you're on the 15-minute and you're looking for longs, you can't say you didn't expect them to come here. What the hell's going on? The market's crashing. All they're doing is coming back for their money. Market makers are shorting when price is rising. All they're doing is coming back for their money. So when you get in on your cheat sheet entry here, this is literally the perfect entry ever. But when you get in on your cheat sheet entry, you can set your targets. Oh, did I just get rid of my thing? You can set your targets all the way down here, all the way down, right? Maybe the first take profit at this wick or a little bit above this wick, right? In confluence with our 200 EMA. You can set your second take profit maybe halfway on this vector candle, maybe the rest of the vector candle, and then to take the lows, which we did do. And then we bounced, right? So you're never, or even here, like to take this SFP, which we did. You're never going to have a perfect entry and a perfect exit, but that's how you can do it, right? We follow the money. I don't trade like this, guys. I don't know how they even do it, but this falling wedge and then you take the height of it and you move it down and do this. I don't do that. This is like little kid stuff. This is geometry. I don't follow the nerdy geometry shapes. I follow the money. The money's here. It's right in front of your face. You can see it. For those who don't have this indicator, you need it. It's called Trader's Reality Main. Make sure you get it. I have a video about it. That's how you set your profits. If you're using the 2-hour time frame, right? If you're using the 15-minute time frame and you see this, right? Here, you don't have any vector candles, so you don't necessarily expect 100% for them to come for this right away, because there's no vector candles that need to be recovered on the 15-minute time frame, right? But if I was going to, if I was going to set profits, like I always take profit early, always, because like you got to be safe than sorry. You can always just catch the next trade, but you know, I take profits early depending on when I got in. But because also here money flow is increasing, you got to be a little bit like careful. Careful is the word, not worried, but careful. Right? So let's just say you shorted from when the dot confirmed, which was this candle right here, right? If price came all the way down, to here and you got whatever, 0.5%, 0.75%, whatever of a move, and you didn't take profit at this point, which to be honest, I don't even know if I would have. Maybe I would have, depends on my position size and whatever. And if it starts to come back up and you can see money flow continuing to rise and you're getting this green dot and you're like, oh man, like, I don't know, this might break, then get out of the trade. Like even get out of break even, right? And watch what happens. Now they come, now you have the green vectors, right? And another potential cheat sheet entry. Not to say that I would have entered this either, but you know, you look at the confluence across the time frames. And you know, that's how you set your take profits. So it depends on what time frame you're getting in, right? And if you're anticipating a cheat sheet entry like I am on the 1 hour, right? We already said the 1 hour time frame is thick. So if this comes up like this and we get a red dot here, I'm looking for a short. If I come on the 15 or the 12 or whatever, and I'm starting to see around the time that we would be printing our red dot for our cheat sheet entry, I'm starting to see like bear divs on the 12 and whatever, then I'm taking that cheat sheet entry all day, because I have my lower term time frames showing me that the momentum is going to continue downwards. Oh my goodness, why do I keep closing that? Yeah, so I have the lower term time frames telling me that the momentum is going to continue downwards. So that's where I'm taking that trade. And if I'm on the 1 hour, depending on what happens next, it's hard for me to tell right now. But if we bounce from right here and these are all green vector candles coming up and we tap our 50 EMA, let's just say, then my first take profit would probably be like halfway through the first vector, halfway through the second vector, below these lows, and then below this low. And then maybe below this low too. Like I'll split it up. And then as soon as you take profit on the first one, you move your stop loss to your entry. So I don't actually ever use this on my chart. Is this a short? But it would look something like this, right? TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4. Stop loss would go over the high wherever it is. And then as soon as you hit TP1, you move that to your entry. And then you just chill. You know, you have these in place and you just chill. And you know, because you're on the hourly time frame, that they can come back to those levels. Right? So that's how you set your targets. And it really depends on which time frame cheat sheet entry you get into. Let's look at the daily. And remember, I want to be clear with this because I don't want you guys to just long every green dot below the 0 and say, oh man, that was a cheat sheet entry. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But you're looking for thick money flow. You want thick, okay? Let's say you missed this whole move. This is ideally where you would have wanted to get in, right here, right? If you got some trigger and then, or some anchor trigger waves, momentum is moving up over time. This is where you want it to get in. But if you don't get in there, what are you looking for? You have thick money flow. You get your next green dot, and then you caught it. And you're monitoring your trade. You don't just leave it and, oh, I'm gold. You're monitoring it, right? Now, another thing that is an added confluence that I forgot to mention that's also important is at the same time you're looking for red vectors tapping into your 50 EMA with your green dot and thick money flow. If you see hidden bull divs, you're like pretty golden. Okay? So let's take a look here. This wave, I don't know if I would consider it a hidden bull div, but it would be close. And if it's close, it's like, keep in mind, if the last wave was here and the current wave is here, but the last price was here, this price should be here, but it's not. So we're going to consider it a hidden bull div, right? Which, if you guys don't know what a hidden bull div is, let's pretend this wave was a little bit lower. It's where your oscillator is giving you a lower low, but your price is giving you a higher low, which is a signal for continued upside. That would have been your cheat sheet entry right there, right? Here, you could argue, yeah, it could be a cheat sheet entry, whatever. But again, it's better when the money flow is thick. You're looking for thick money flow and you're looking for continuation of trend. Look at this one. This is on the daily now, right? We're on the daily. Let's say you missed the initial move. It sucks. Sucks to suck, but it happened. You got your red dots, 2 of them right here. With thick money flow. That's your cheat sheet entry. Nobody should be long-term swing trading long here. Nobody should be doing that. And especially when you see this green candle. Listen, Vector, and I said, or retail, sorry. Retail sees this big candle and they buy. Do not be retail. Everything you think you know about trading is a lie. Everything you think you know. All the shapes, all the triangles, all the engulfing candles, anything that you think you know is a complete lie. Don't listen to it. You follow the money and you'll be profitable. That's it. It's the only important thing is follow the money. So in this case, if you got in on a daily cheat sheet entry, well, look left. Where's the money? You could even target down here. Look at these vectors that needed to be recovered on the daily time frame. Now, that's not to say don't take profit the whole time because this is from 30K and this is at 20K. Or yeah, 19K. That's not what I'm saying. Take profits along the way, but you can't say, oh man, I didn't expect it to go this low. Why would it not go this low? My support didn't hold. Follow the money. The money's here. It's very clear in front of you. So that's how you set your targets. It all depends on which time frame and which cheat sheet entry time frame that you're getting in on. Any questions?
As longer we go, there's less questions because everything is more clear for us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Listen, this is the third or fourth stream now. And every time we do this, I'm spitting fire at you guys. And, obviously, I'm keeping up with you guys in the Discord, and I love our Discord. Like I really enjoy it. We're all pretty active, so I like to see, you know, the talk back and forth. And I'm
Yeah,
glad, man. I'm glad that you guys are learning.
Are you recording this, Q?
Yeah, I'm recording it. And it's gonna go on YouTube today or
Very
tomorrow.
cool. Thanks, man.
I have a question.
Yes.
You hear me? Yeah, cool. When do you use the 2 hour and when do you use like the 1 hour or the daily
Oh, that's a good question.
time frame?
That's a good question. So you're monitoring really, like it depends on how you trade. It depends on if you swing trade or you scalp or whatever, right? But if you see a potential,
sorry for interrupting, but I think it's good to split that between scalp and swing, because even I don't understand this concept in full.
oh, like what a scalping and swing trading is?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I have theory about this, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna cover that in a better way.
Okay, yeah. So, basically, long story short, the higher if you're trading a higher time frame, you are doing something called swing trading. You're expecting price, like you're getting in here, for example, and you're holding it all the way down here. You're typically low leverage because you need to give the trade like some space, some air, some breathing room, right? You're not catching the exact top and the exact bottom. You're not worried about the 1 minute time frame if you're swing trading, right? You're looking for bigger moves, long-term moves. Scalping is you're on the 1 minute time frame and you're trading, you know, this little range. If I draw a box around this range and I go to the daily time frame, like you can't even see anything. It's a line. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference between scalping and swing trading. And the reason it's important to focus on whatever time frame that you're on is because that will determine the type of trade. As I just showed you on the 2 hour, on the 4 hour, for example, you can target those lower vector candles. That's considered a swing trade, right? Anything beyond like this month, this is all swing trade, right? Now, his question was, how do you know which time frame to look at, right? So this is what I do every day, okay? I come to my daily, I look at what's happening. I come to my 4 hour, I do my technical analysis, whatever. But I work at the top down. So I start at the 4 hour, I see what's going on. I come to the 2 hour, I see what's going on, etc. Okay? Now, here, if I'm anticipating, I'm gonna really try to say this slowly so you guys can understand it. If I'm anticipating a cheat sheet entry on the hourly, let's just say, right? Which we are. Right now we are. In a few hours, maybe tomorrow, we might get something like this. That's your cheat sheet entry. Potentially, right? If I'm expecting that to happen, I'm looking at the lower term time frames, let's say the 30 minute, and I'm looking for bear divs, I'm looking for extra confluence, I'm looking for it to be at one of my levels, etc., right? If you don't get, or I'm even looking for a cheat sheet entry here, right? If I get this, I can enter that, and then I'm in my trade, and then later I see this forming and it does the same thing, then I can shift my perspective from the 30 minute to the 1 hour because the 1 hour followed through. And then if I come to the 2 hour and I get a red dot like there, then that followed through. So then I can shift my perspective to the 2 hour, right? Now, what do you do if you don't see that? So this is important, and this is where you guys, I'm going to say it slowly, and I really want you to understand. So I'm going to make sure you guys understand afterwards, okay? Because if you don't get this concept, you'll get chopped up, and we don't want that. I don't want you to lose money. So let's just say we're expecting on the 1 hour. Let's say you're like in your mind, I'm not entering until I get this on the 1 hour. So if the 1 hour starts to come up and the 30 minute does not look bearish, okay? The 3 minute looks like this, let's just say. Now, it's never going to be perfectly like that, but let's just say it looks like this. And you're like, ooh, I don't know, this doesn't look like it's going to confirm the red dot, or it looks like it might give me a red dot and then a green dot right after, right? So it doesn't look great. Well, then what you do is now you wait for the cheat sheet entry on the 2 hour. Okay, so if you wanted to get it on the 1 hour and you didn't get it, now you're waiting on the 2 hour. So you move up. Because the 2 hour will take longer to turn. Remember, this is double the hours, right? One candle is double in the last one. So if the 1 hour starts to move up now, because the 30 minutes started to move up, so now if the 1 hour starts to move up, you're waiting for eventually the 2 hour to give you your cheat. I mean, it would be above the 0, but you're waiting for your 2 hour to give you the cheat sheet because your 1 hour did not. And then if you don't get it on the 2 hour, then you look for it on the 4 hour and then on the daily or whatever the case is. So this works across all time frames, right? If you wanted to get, like, this is a cheat sheet entry right here. If you missed the dump before, you could have caught this move, right? But let's say it didn't give you it. Then you would go to like the 12 and you're waiting for this one. You're watching it and you can see like, okay, there's a potential. Right now, we have a potential for another cheat sheet entry. The higher this goes, especially if the price doesn't go anywhere, right? Like if this wave continues moving up and this price just does this, like that's it, and you're getting hidden bear divs, right? Like that's your cheat sheet entry. If you don't get it on this time frame, you move up and you wait to see it on this one. If you don't get it here, you move up until you get it. And you're watching it. You're trying to front run it. If you're scalping, which I'll make a whole video on, but if you're scalping, you're trying to front run it, but you're doing it in anticipation of that red dot on whatever overall time frame that you're looking at. I hope that answered your question. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks. Very nice.
Perfect. Does anybody else have any questions? We got a lot of people in here, man. Thank you guys all for being in here. I really appreciate it.
No, that's kind of very very well explained thing. So yeah.
Okay, and the last thing I want to just talk about with you guys before I let you go is I just want to reiterate for the newcomers why this works and why you're looking for this. Okay, so for the people that are newer, the market cipher B money flow is the holy grail, right? It's our juggernaut. It's what you're looking for most of the time. Okay. The thicker the money flow is, the more divergences the waves will give you. So here we're thick, okay? And you can see right now, if this clips, that's one divergence right there, right? That's one divergence, but we're still thick. So if this comes up and then this comes down, this could also be another divergence. And if this is still thick, and then it starts to curve up, we could even get another one, right? It would look something like this. Like it would be crazy. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it would give you another one because money flow is thick. The thicker the money flow, the more divergences it gives you. A lot of people lose this way. They think, oh, I have the divergence. It's so easy. I win now. No. And sometimes even when you're on the last, 80% of this wave, they'll hit you with one last one and really get you. In general, right? This is why you're looking for these cheat sheet entries, because you know that they like to do divergences when money flow is thick. So here I can tell you, right now, the 1 hour looks absolutely brutal. Are you ever in your life going to take a long from here, from right in this moment, with the anticipation of coming up back to the highs that we were before the weekend? Absolutely not. Because even if it does come back up, it's going to take time. We have EMAs pointing down, we have things pointing down, and we have thick money flow. So this is going to take time. This could maybe do this, come down a little bit, do this, and then come up when the money flow comes up. Right? But if we get our cheat sheet entry right here, for example, you could catch this move down 3%. And then price comes down, comes back up, let's say, maybe you have a hidden bear div there. No, that's not right. Maybe this does like this. You have a hidden bear div there. That's another cheat sheet entry that you can take 1.5%. Let's just say, right? Hypothetically. That's why that's why this strategy works. That's why you're looking for this. Because the thicker the money flow, the better it is. My goodness. I'm not winning with the charts today. The thicker the money flow, the more divergences it gives. So this is something to be aware of. And look across all time frames, guys. All of them. If the 4 hour is super, super thick, like you can expect something like this to happen. Right? That's how you do it. If you're lazy, you want to do it the easy way, you wait for the confirmation, you wait for the candle to close, you put the stop loss under the wick. Or under the wick. It's usually a wick. But that's really your cheat sheet strategy in a nutshell. So I really hope that you guys all grasped that. I don't know how long this stream was, but this is definitely the biggest stream. So again, I really appreciate everybody that's in here. It is going to go up on YouTube probably later today. So I appreciate giving me a sub and, watching the video back. There was a lot of information here, and especially for the new guys. I said it for a couple times, and I'm sorry to shill my own content here, but make sure you go back and watch the other streams because I give a lot of information for free. Like I said, I believe in giving the value up front. And then, I have my own Discord, my own community. If after you get your value, you decide that you want to donate, I will accept your donations, but not before I provide the value. I want to see you guys winning first, and then consider anything that you may, help me with as tip money, not as you had to pay this to get this information. I don't believe in that. I don't like that. We have a great community. We're aspiring to grow as traders, and I welcome everyone that is willing to join the community. Any questions, guys?
No, I think it's everything perfectly explained.
Cool.
You
Anybody
covered
else?
everything. That was pretty good.
Beautiful. I really hope that you guys get it. I will continue to give updates in my Discord as I do after the lesson. I point out the things that we talk about. So I'll continue to give the pointers, and you guys, if you see it, like, please, take the screenshots. You can add everybody to, whatever it may be. Like, let's grow as a community and let's get that bread,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think with every single stream, there is somebody could see that there's some knowledge missing, so he have to go back to the older YouTube videos what you actually did, because that's a crucial information to understand the whole concept.
Yeah, so this week I'm starting to do YouTube videos, not just streams, right? And eventually I'm going to move my streams to YouTube because extra watch time and such. But yeah, I'll be covering all these topics in like shorter term, like shorter form content, 15, 20 minutes, so people don't have to watch like 5 hours of stream. But the value really is here. And especially when you guys can, interact with me and ask me questions in real time, and we can do this in real time. So it's really helpful. But yeah, I think we had
Yeah,
a good
man,
stream.
we're gonna miss that. We're really gonna miss that
it's
to
gonna
talk
still-
on your
it's-
streams across.
It's still gonna happen, man. Even when I'm live on YouTube, I'm gonna have my Discord chat open, so I'll still be able to hear you guys. Like, it's not gonna change anything. It's just you're gonna be watching on YouTube because my goal is 1K subs by August, and I want 100 subs by the end of this week. So I was at 77 earlier this morning. Now I'm at 83. I gained 6 just by posting one like quick little video. So I think we'll hit 100 today, or not today, this week. Sorry. But yeah, man, 1K by August is the goal, and I'll keep it going for sure.
Yeah, if I'm kind of saying nice words to my mom, probably she gonna sub you as well. So
Oh, great, man. I appreciate it. Anyone can sub. I'm very appreciative. Look at this, just real quick. Sorry, live example, guys. Look at this right now. We had our thick money flow. We got a red dot there coming into the 50 EMAs with the blue vector candle. That's your cheat sheet entry, and that's your 6 minutes. So where are you gonna target? Probably the lows. Probably would have already taken some profits there because it's a scalp, right? Like, it's on the 6 minute time frame. So it's a lot smaller, but there's a live example literally right there. Excuse me, of what you're looking for. And on the 3 minute, you come up, we're at the EMA, you have a very high wave. And then on the 1 minute, let's see what we got. We got some not bear divs, but we're also very topped out here. You know, how down is this move going to be? I don't know, but there's an example right there. So that's your cheat sheet entry, guys. Use it. Bounce between the time frames. The higher the time frames, the more accurate they are, like anything else. Follow the vectors. Follow the money. Don't be like retail. Don't draw the triangles. They're stupid. Doesn't make sense. We're here to make money. We're not here to make math and triangles and shapes. So, yeah, that's it. That's how it goes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all. It's my
Thank you very much, like always.
It's my pleasure. The video will be up later. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
No
Cool.
worries. No worries.
All right.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. All right, guys. YouTube. Oh, let me just close this stream. So YouTube, guys, please like, please subscribe, please give me that watch time. I give a lot of information. I give a lot of value for free, and I'm trying to do this as a living. So I really would appreciate the support here. And if you can, please hit the bell when you subscribe, so you can see my videos first, and in real time. Also, I have a Discord which is where I've been streaming. So I really would appreciate you guys coming and joining the community. We give not signals, but the things that I talk about, like the cheat sheet entry, I give updates multiple times throughout every day. In terms of, like, you know, I send screenshots and stuff, and the group always talks to each other. We have about 70 people in the Discord right now. Very good community, and it's good energy. You know, it's good vibes. They're very welcoming. So if you're looking to trade, if you're looking to learn and you want to trade, you're looking for market Cipher B strategies, etc., make sure you join the Discord, because that's how you're going to get all the information up front and in real time. Until next time, guys, I really appreciate you making it this far. If you did, I'll catch you next time. Take care.